welcome, ladies and gentlemen, people in the comment section. We have two guests today, not one but two. We have the Irish guy back again. What's going on? And we've got Louis Beneventi, the co-founder, should we say, or the manager?
Founder now.
Founder, way, okay, the founder of Imperial Wharf. FC. How are we doing, gents?
All good on my end. I didn't realize we were in the presence of such a managerial don, huh?
No, I definitely wouldn't say that. Definitely wouldn't say that.
One of the big hitters now, Imperial Wharf. Tell us. Sorry to take over for you, but I'm actually genuinely. I haven't had a chance to ask you about this. I'm genuinely curious about what the. Yeah, because I see so many updates on Twitter the whole time with the Wharf stuff. But what's going on? What's going on with it?
Well, we're doing all right. Non-league, unbeaten, top of the league, progressing well in the cup. We're all right. You know, we're doing okay.
Was this all? Did you just sit down one day and just come up with an idea? I have to start a team, and then you rang up a few mates, and you how did you go about?
Well, pretty much. So I've always wanted to do it. So I played in the Ball Street team that played against Hashtag. So that was about 4 years ago when I was still a big lad, but I actually had, facial construction going on. You could see the cheekbones, it wasn't 3 chins, it was 2, all that sort of stuff.
Hey, come on, don't say that about you. You're a perfectly handsome young man, all right?
I know. Big ones are always jolly. You know what I mean? We're more fun. Give 100% when you see it. But I was at that, and then we played against AJ3's team, and then I kind of started mentally getting the idea of like, do you know what? It might be quite fun, and I never really had the time because I was always focusing and putting my energy into other stuff. And then uni kind of was coming to an end. So I had nothing on my plate at that point. There was a void to fill. So I thought, you know what? I've done what I felt I could when I was at 100% Chelsea. I was there going, cool, right? I've done what I feel I can take it to at that point. So I want to try something new. And I spoke to a couple of mates. So I spoke to a friend of mine from uni. George Keeley was part of the project at the beginning as well. And I'd already been speaking to a few friends as well who sort of wanted to get involved. Some were football coaches, some were players, some did media. And we just went, right, let's go. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what happens. And the first year was, it was very much, it kind of set the barometer of what was to come. So you kind of looked at it, it was like, okay, this is much harder than I thought it would be. And there was so many stuff being thrown at us, and we didn't know it was going to happen. And games weren't coming as often as we'd like. There was lots of other stuff going on behind the scenes and all of that in terms of managing stuff and learning what to do. And then it kind of all just fell into place during lockdown, the first lockdown, which was actually for us really a blessing in disguise because it kind of gave us an opportunity to take a step back, see where we wanted to go next and what we wanted to do. And then off the back of that, it's been amazing this year. We've really pushed on. We've had some fantastic new players come in, some fantastic people kind of finally felt they could find their feet and push forward. I think I saw a big person for that for me. Big shout out to him is Shay, our fullback. He was struggling a little bit last year with some stuff, and he always really applied himself. He's always been really invested, and now the fruits of his labours are starting to come through because he's really developed to become a massive leader in the team. Obviously, Bilal, and I'll say this on my chest, best goalkeeper in football YouTube. And I won't back down from that.
Soon, Louis, don't worry, I've got a clip of that. You saying that?
Yeah. So he is the best. But no, lots of lads that have finally come to their feet, applied themselves, and obviously, the away fans got in touch with us through Benj, who's obviously he's kit man Benj, but he's not actually the kit man. His mum Leslie does all the washing for us, and she's a hero as well. But we got that, and the away fans came through London's Blue podcast, obviously because fans. Technically, well, you're not allowed to go to elite football, but for some reason you're still allowed to go to grassroots. We have people coming to watch us, people getting in contact. We've got a fan base in the US, we've got people in Thailand. I've had someone message me from Australia, so it's been mental, and it's the happiest been in a long time.
That's incredible, but I suppose, like you said, I suppose the lockdown probably gave a lot of people an opportunity to just have a breather, take a step back, and as you said, just kind of see what path you were going to, because there could have been a danger where you were just flooded with games every week. There's no real chance to, before you know it, you could have been down a rabbit hole with this team, So maybe that few months at the start of the year was the perfect tonic to just get everything sorted in your mind and just come up with a sort of a vision for the team, right?
It was. I mean, put it this way: we didn't win a game in our first season. We would have done if it wasn't for the lockdown. I think there was a couple of teams which were in the league we were in, which I think we would have pumped. In fact, I know we still would, because they couldn't even get an 11 together when they wanted to. So whatever. But
I think it's easy to beat 10 players, all right. So yeah, it can't feel the full team.
Yeah, but I mean, we did that, and then it was it was bang on. I actually did the counting on the day we won the game. From our first game where we played the United Stand to the game which we won against Pro Panthers, it was 411 days. And there was times where I was sat there just going, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to do this? But then every single time, even though we weren't winning games, a bunch of lads turned up to training, even if it was 5 people, we'd still be there. We'd turn up. And you just knew that there was a good vibe there and it was going to come. It was going to build. So just had to stick at it. And then now it's started to bear fruit, as we said. And, 411 days is a long time to wait. But then after that, apart from we're losing 1 game, we've been unbeaten in 5 or 6. So we're solid. We're solid.
Yeah,
and it's a good foundation.
Things are kind of falling into place there. Would you say, because your work on 100% Chelsea was obviously brilliant, but would you say, this feels more personal to you? This is more like your baby.
Yeah,
and more of that kind of you've maybe a stronger connection with this maybe than like previous projects.
I think with 100% Chelsea, I had a connection and I had a belief in the project, but there was other stuff behind the scenes which just I will talk about at a later date. I won't do it here, but I will talk about eventually.
Okay.
Where it just was an absolute, excuse me French, fucking mess. So by the end of it, I was kind of sat there just a bit like, do you know what? I can't be bothered anymore. I'd given it my all, for the shit that people would give you for just trying to put an opinion out there. And where I personally feel some fan channels have gone, I don't feel that there's a personal connection anymore. And there was a point in my last season where I would do a fan cam and I just knew someone would basically try and quote AFTV in how they responded to a game. And it's at that point I was like, do you know what? Like, that's not for me anymore. I want to talk about the football. I don't want to rant and rave. I don't want to get the most views when we lose a game. I actually want to have a consistent conversation and then develop it and see what happens and then slowly get to that point. And, it just wasn't the same vision as a lot of people. So I thought, you know what? I walked away, came to this, and it's definitely more of my baby. But I don't take sole credit for it. It's not just mine. There's people which have worked on it and work their socks off behind the scenes, and some don't get the credit they deserve. And there's in the other room, for example, right now during lockdown, our new videographer editor, sort of like he's basically like the Lewis Preston of Imperial Wharf, doing the vlogging and stuff. Ducker, he's sat in there just sort of looking at stuff and wanting to do edits. We had Jodie last year; she's gone on to the BBC. Lots of other people. Little Joe, he's now doing stuff with boxing and that. And there's people which have really worked really hard to try and build this project and push it forward. And I can't take sole credit for it because I physically would not have been able to do this on my own. Like it's impossible. It's awesome, but it would have been impossible, and I love it. But we move. It's exciting times, and I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing now.
Oh, brilliant! One last thing before I'll hand the reins back to 40. I know. I gotta remind myself that I'm actually a guest on this and not the host. But one more thing I just want to say. I'm thrilled for you, Louis, because I remember about a year ago I brought out a video. You probably remember the grading football YouTubers. And
I remember that.
That your segment was basically me putting out where is Louis? Where is he? I couldn't, because by then 100% Chelsea was dormant. You'd gone missing, and I was like, where is this kid? I hope he's good. I hope he's doing stuff. And 1 year later, it seems like you're in a great place. So,
well, I mean, I'll be honest. Like that video, I was in a very dark place. Just it wasn't a nice place to be in mentally at that point. See, everyone saw what was going on, talking shit about me, stuff which wasn't true whatsoever. And then to see that, it really helped me a lot. And I meant when I put in the comments, I really did appreciate. I really fucking did, because at that point I was like, fucking hell, like it's nice that someone still thinks I'm good at what I do. So
of course, of course. But I'll hand it back to you now, 40, since this is your show.
No, you carry on, you two. Now, I was going to come in and ask about when I seen you, Louis, at that tournament. This is going back at least a year ago, and that's when you first started with George. I was just thinking, like, how have you kind of evolved as a person, as a coach, as a founder of a football club at Grassroots? Because I remember saying to you, "Oh, it's not as easy as like the managers you rant about." So now I'm just thinking, like, now you're a year into the job. How are you finding it?
That's too right. when I see people going, "This manager's shit. It's not working. Fuck this." Da, da, da. I'm sat there going, "I'm not going to say anything because I know." I find it difficult getting 11 blokes together on a Saturday afternoon. I dread to think what it's like managing prima donnas at the top level of the game. Like, bloody hell, I can just about do it. But Jesus,
I'd say people managing must be, as you said, must be the most frustrating thing. Trying to get everyone fit, ready, putting off other commitments. That must be an absolute headache.
Oh, it is, but that's why I've got people that kind of do it for me. I'm very much now sort of like, because I'm doing 5 million things. I'm like, right, can you deal with these people? I'm going to deal with this. Can you do this? Get this sorted. We've got so our physio, and he's basically our physio, strength and conditioning coach. He's an ex Muay Thai champion. He was the first, but I think he was like the first white guy to actually win it in Thailand, and he trained John Jones and stuff like that. So he's very good at people managing. So when people do fuck about, he kind of turns down, plays down the law. We got Steve as well, who's the other coach, and Hass, who kind of just like manage people as well and sort of get it all sorted. And then I kind of just I lay down the barometer and go, right, that's what we're doing. Sort it out.
It must be pretty helpful when you have that trump card of the hardest bastard in London on your physio staff. That must be a nice trump card to have.
It's brilliant. It's pretty funny when someone squares up to him on the sideline because we're all standing next to each other going, wait, don't say anything. Let's see what happens. We want to see what happens here.
Is that the guy?
Sorry?
The guy that does jiu-jitsu, is that the one you're on about?
Yeah. Literally, we stood there. There was some guy who squared up to him a couple of weeks back, and we were there going, what's going to happen here? What's going to happen here? He's expecting just like this flying kick to come out of nowhere. It's always useful to have that on the sideline because we're there going, oh, don't worry about it. We can say whatever we want. No one will touch us. It's cool. It's fine.
You've now kind of transitioned over to non-league now from playing rights of DTFC and all the rest of it now. Like your first game was against, is it Atoll?
Atoll 1965, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got your first team talk here. So let's have a little run through that and talk off the back of that. Yes,
the wind was bad. The wind was bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that was windy as hell. So from what I gathered, it was like the whole motivational team talk. This is it. All the rest of it. How was you feeling at the time, bro?
It was a bit surreal, to be honest, because we planned it to have sort of an hour and a half before kickoff, where it would give us sort of hour and 15 to kind of just go through some drills, bit of a warm up, get ourselves ready, and then that 15 minutes to sort of just get ourselves mentally in the zone. What happened though is we weren't actually told what pitch we were playing on at Hackney Marshes, so we kind of had to go, right, let's go find this football pitch. Half an hour before kickoff, we're finally all there, and it's like, right, quick warm up, get yourself sorted. And in the zone, I was like, right, I just wanted to say my bit, go through the lineup, get ourselves sorted, and get out on the pitch. But that day I was so excited. I didn't sleep the night before. I couldn't do it because I was sat there going, "Oh, blimey!" Like we hadn't planned to make the step to non-league football for another year, so it was all very rushed. We kind of only really made when we made the announcement, we'd only made the decision like 2-3 days before, and we found a league, got in, went for it. So it was all very, very rushed, but it felt right. And obviously, winning on the day, it was just, it was a cherry on the top of the cake. And it was a surreal day. It was a great day. And then I celebrated late that evening by not coming home until about 2:00 in the morning. Somehow everything shut at 10. I don't know how I wandered through my door at 2, but I got there and I was like, brilliant, I'm home now. It's a day. It's a great day, sorted. But
this management stuff is quite easy,
Absolutely not. I was just there going, my head was going, thank God we won that. So it's like, I'm not losing the first game in non-league. We're not losing that. Thank God that has been done. It was surreal.
That looked like a really heartfelt, kind of inspirational talk. But have there been bollockings? Are you that type of guy? Are you the one that doles out the hair dryer treatment, or
kind
of do Which is
it's kind of very natural with me, as we all know. I do have a tendency to sometimes get a little bit angry. It's been seen. Last year I couldn't really dole out the hairdryer because it was the first season, and because we were losing games all the time and struggling to get a squad together, I was there going, we've just got to survive. So I had to be very nice. Don't worry, it'll come next game. It'll come next game. It'll come next game. And then the odd person I'd give a clap around the ear if they were being an idiot. But I mean,
does that not get really tiring for you though, when you're basically having to cajole them and obviously not trying to shatter their confidence, but there must be part of you where you're losing 4-0, stuck to the foot of the league. You must feel like losing it with them.
I know I did. Somehow we were never bottom of that league as well. That's also very interesting. Somehow.
Yes, the team. If you didn't win a game for so many months, the team below you must have been complete dog shit.
Oh yeah, that's where one of the points would have come from. I think that's what I was hoping for. But no, there was a time where I was like, I wanted to do that, but I knew where we were talking about as a person sort of developing. I knew where I'd learned sort of in previous encounters with people, and obviously when I was running 100% Chelsea and doing all that sort of stuff, that there are only certain ways you can manage people. And I realised sort of there'd be times where I'd just dole it out and there'd be no good reason, but it's because I'd be angry, and I'd rather sort of that's for me was that sort of the main thing for the first season was just to survive. That was my aim, because the games were so thin on the ground that I just wanted us to make sure we get through it, be prepared for the next season, and go again. So it was just a case of keeping hold of people and motivating and doing it that way. And then, like we said, the lockdown came, which kind of gave me the opportunity to step back and go, right, this wasn't going well. This is what I need to do to fix it. And these are the people I brought in, and the people that were all very, very passionate to do it as well. So there were times, I'd want to dish out the hairdryer and I couldn't do it. Whereas this year, I dished out my fair amount of hairdryers because I can now. Because we've got the people there now to sort of make sure that stuff gets implemented, and if I'm not happy, people know about it. But again, some people you can't do that with, other people you can. I mean, prime example of that. I mean, what was it? It was there was a quote from a player at Man United. I've forgotten who it was. It was something about how Fergie never shouted at Cantona. Yeah, even when he was playing crap. And then it's
because you've got to treat certain characters differently, right? You can't treat them all the same. Again, like Ferguson could dole out to Giggs or Rooney, but if you shout at Nani, he'd probably cry. So
he'd cry getting a red card. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing that interests me. We've seen it obviously with Sunderland and Tottenham with the documentaries. Do you find that when you bring cameras, when you combine cameras with the football, do you notice it has a certain effect on some people? Whether, I don't know, maybe some try and turn into a greedy Ben Arfa because they want to look good for the cameras, get gold.
Would that be you, the greedy Ben Arfa?
Or say that.
Or do you have some people short away and they can't deal with football in front of the camera? Which is, have you noticed a difference?
I'd say so. I mean, but I think you could see that in the Spurs and Sunderland documentary as well. I mean, Sunderland, they very openly spoke about it, didn't they? So I think Sunderland, it couldn't have had as bigger impact. But I think the thing with this is people come into it knowing it's a quote unquote YouTube football team. I don't like that terminology, even though we are. I'd like to think that we're a football team and we're starting from the bottom. I'm actually wanting to build a full club, and we just happen to have a very good platform through social media. That's kind of mentally where I'm at with it. But some people come into it, wanting to boost their profile, wanting to do that a little bit extra when the camera's on so that they look good, and others might struggle because they feel that they overthink and they overperform, and others it doesn't really affect. But I mean, it's just people, isn't it? Like we were saying, everyone's different earlier. I can't berate someone in the same way as I have to, give someone a cuddle. It's going to be the same with how people are in front of camera. Those who overdo it, they know. We have the conversation. They don't do it again. So, and it's very slowly. It's very simple. It's just.
Louis, I can promise you, if I was a player for your team, you would absolutely hate me.
Oh no, I know. But when it comes to people management, I know I can give you a backhand and you won't do it again.
I'm a greedy ball hog for my Sunday league team, and there's no cameras there. If there were cameras on me, you're damn right no one else is getting that ball. I'd be on yeah, no.
I'll put a seat warmer on the bench for you, mate. That's what I'll do.
Well, I'll know whenever to sign for your team then, Louis. All right, no war for me.
I'm going to show some more footage from that game as well. This is by far like the best goal of that game. So let's have.
Sometimes wonder what goes through my head in that commentary. Sometimes I listen to it back and going, "What the fuck was I?"
No, Louis. That one wasn't on you. That was on him. If he wanted to further, the only way he could have furthered that Irish stereotype was if he had a leprechaun hat on and sculled a pint of Guinness with that celebration. Huh? What is this?
he had the pub after, to be fair.
Of course.
Eddie. He's amazing. He's a lad that's coming this year. He's played professionally in Spain, Portugal. He played. I think it was Hibernian. He was there as well, and he was at Crawley under-23s most recently. And he's one of the players which we're wanting to help. Almost in similar vein to how Rising Ballers do their stuff. We've kind of got that mantra of how we want to help players perform and explore the beauty of the cameras. We can help them expand their profile. And if they go on and do bigger and better things, it's great for us, being selfish, but also at the same time, we want to see those people who have basically been kicked to the curb by football clubs for not being good enough to go and prove it elsewhere. And Eddie's a prime example of that. And he's someone who has fallen into the club, and he's kind of he came to one game as not as a ringer, but kind of someone where we just have a look at him. He wanted to get some minutes, and we didn't think he'd stay because he's that good. And then he's just kind of gone, do you know what? I'm going to stay here for the year at least, build a profile. And he's, from the back of that, he has been the glue within the changing room, obviously from his quality, from a playing standpoint, but as a person as well. I mean, you saw it there, just yells at people, let's do it, let's have some fun. And he just brings everyone together. I guess it's just an Irish thing. You're all happy-go-lucky, aren't you, really? Let's be honest.
Yeah, of course. One thing I did notice about that goal, though, for the first 10 seconds, I thought he doesn't have a right foot. This is all left foot. And then the last minute, it chops onto his right and finishes it. So, got to give him props.
He's quality. He's quality.
Yeah.
We're going to go on to the next game that picked out from Pimlico. Now, there's an absolute cracker in this, but again, it's from the other side. So, apologies in advance, Louis. Let's check this one out. Yeah. It was a bit of a screamer, to be fair.
Was that the keeper?
He had a dig. The wind was behind it, and he was not going. Who would have put that to go in?
So is that the guy who's the best keeper on YouTube? Yeah, that's the one.
No, that was Jake who.
Oh, he was off that day, was he? Oh, best.
Palau picked up an injury the day before.
Yeah, okay.
So Jake was a mate of mine who stepped in from uni. He did all right apart from that, to be honest.
Then we're just picking on the sub goalie. That's a bit hard. It's like the abuse Adriana's getting, huh? Come on, go easy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, it didn't all end doom and gloom because kind of spun it around. So let's have a look. Yeah.
I think it just goes to show I give zero fucks about what I look like.
I think I've seen more of Louis dancing tonight than I have anything else. I thought wasn't this supposed to be a gold compilation?
I mean, I didn't know Louis had those moves, man.
Moves? Bloody hell! I wouldn't call that moves. I've got an uncle in a wheelchair who's got more moves than that. Blimey,
it was interesting.
It's horrendous.
Yeah. Maybe you're revolutionizing. Maybe soon we'll see Antonio Conte doing a jig with Lukaku on the sidelines. Who knows? You could be paving the way.
I'm very much on a night out. The bloke who just stands in a corner, sort of bobbing his head like that with his drink, just chilling. I'm not the guy who does the dance normally, unless you'll do
nothing on a night out after 6 pints, but on a football pitch at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Different character altogether.
Eddie brings it out, yeah, right?
He does indeed. Oh,
right. I've got another clip as well. Louis loves to have fun on the touchline, and
I just want to watch football. But Benj, being Benj, had to do what he does. Be a tit. It's a nightmare.
I like how you stayed down though. You weren't in a hurry to get back on your feet.
No, if you're going to push me over and take the piss, you can pick me back up, and that's a mission for you.
I love that. Yes.
You're going to do that. Have fun getting me up.
Why me? Why always me? Oh, I love it. we're going to fast forward then to your latest game against Park Stars. Now, this is a penalty decision that went your way. Let's check this one out.
Bench and the referee know. Osama with delivery. Picked up. Penalty given.
Yes! How on earth have we won a penalty there? Max clearly dived, but we'll take it every day of the week.
The referee's not having a great day, but let's see if Osama can just capitalise, take the pen, put us in front. Of course he does. Fantastic. 1-0 Imperial Wharf.
Referee! Ref! Sub! Ref!
What's he doing? What's he doing?
Yeah, so was it a penalty, Louis? That's what we need to know, because we ain't got VAR at Hackney Marshes or none of these grassroots pitches. Was it a penalty? Come on, be honest.
Doesn't matter. Referee gave it, didn't he? It's not on me. Referee had an absolute stinker that day. It was the same referee had at Athol, but these Park Stars lads were trying to give it the big one the whole time, even before kickoff.
Yeah, I saw it, mate.
and they because at that point I was like, I don't give a shit what happens, right? As long as we put that in and we shut them up, and we still didn't after the final whistle, which was fun, especially afterwards when one decided to do something. I'll tell you after the stream. I want
one of those. Good finish though. Good penalty.
That was great. Osama's a great player. Great player.
Who's this one? What's his name?
Osama.
Where does he play? Striker, is he?
He's a right winger.
Okay.
He's like Iron Robin, all left foot kind of, but you can't stop it.
Yeah, nice finish though. Nice finish.
Yeah, you're not getting into that team, bro. So just in case you're asking, you're not getting into that team.
Eddie on the left, Osama on the right. We saw a couple of players come back as well. There's a lad called Mikey who's just he's basically a Dharma. I'm not even kidding. He's not built like him, but he can. I've seen him tackle a bloke who's like 6'4" and about the same size as me, and he's like had no problem doing it. Like he's rapid. He's brilliant. I love him.
But he doesn't have the physique of Adama, does he?
No. He looks like Tom Holland.
What? How is that even possible then?
I know. He just does that. He's a beast. He's a beast.
It sounds though like 40. You said there's no chance of me making this team. If I push Eddie in front of a bus or maybe one of those, sounds like that's how I'm getting in this team. All right, because he sounds like a fucking superstar. But
you've also said you don't pass, so why would I sign you anyway?
Damn it.
You push my player in front of a bus, and then you just say, "Can I come in now?" No, you don't. You push my player in front of a bus.
To be fair, I didn't realize you were such a man of principle, Louis. But all right then, okay. All right.
In it, based on some of the stuff that's been said about me.
Now, look, we're going to go back to your earlier comment about Bilal being the best keeper in YouTube. Right. So I'm going to just watch it. We're all going to watch this clip and see the reason why.
And another cynical challenge. Osama whipping it in again here onto Max's head. Ooh, it wasn't his head, but he was just going for it there. Nice little kick across the face of goal. It's collected, but here he comes motoring back to get into the centre half spot. Josh covering in that place at the moment, and it goes out for a throw-in because, their keeper's not as good as Bilal, is he? No one in the league is as good as Bilal. Bilal, I'd even say it on my chest, I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in YouTube football. Into the box. What a save, Bilal Arida.
Oh! Yes, Bilal! Fucking hell! What a fucking cat. God! Hello, thanks! That was 100% Arida! Arida! Whoa!
He saves your shots all night because your strikers are shy.
I was praying we were going to look at a Loris Karius moment there. Second, the big build-up. I was praying for it.
I was searching for him, I couldn't find him. But yeah, when he said that with his chest, I was like, oh, best keeper now. Okay, so explain, Mr. Beneventi. Come on.
I mean, put it this way. There were games we'd be losing by like 4-0 last year where it should have been 10 or 11. And it's just because of Bilal. And then even on top of that as well, as a person, later on in that video and at half-time, you see how important he is to the team as a leader as well. So as a person, as a player, as just mentally as well. And I know it's very old school, but like looking at the four-corner model as a coach, you got social, technical, all that sort of stuff, Well, I don't know if you do know. Social, technical, physical, and what was the other one? Oh my god, I'm having a brain here. Mental. So he ticks all four corners of that. And he's fully the project.
Here's the issue, though, Louis. Joe Hart is a great shot stopper. He was a great leader. But as we all know, in modern football, you need to be competent with your feet. So is he?
Have you got any clips? Do you want to show him any of the clips that you might have of Bilal?
I'm happy to be educated. Pep Guardiola would have none of this nonsense of only a shot stopper.
Pep Guardiola couldn't afford Bilal Arida.
Is he good with his feet? Does he have good passing accuracy with his feet? Then he's
unreal. He could pick it up, and I've seen him get the ball, just ping it to the winger, like don't have to move, straight to your feet. He's superb with the ball at his feet, so calm and just so collected. Everything. But the only problem we've had is when we played at a pitch and it's had wires going across it, and it's a perfect pass, and then it hits the wire, and you sat there like dealing with it on the counter.
Oh, I hate that so much. Yeah, your neck is craning, and then say, "Oh, that's right, a wire that just completely drops the ball dead into the middle for there."
It's like when you're with a dog and you throw the ball, and you don't throw the ball, and the dog chases it, thinking it's gone.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
That's what it feels like when you're playing football with wires. It's horrible.
Yeah, or like if a plane crashes just above your head, you're looking, and then suddenly it drops to the floor. But so you're saying that he's more of an Ederson than he is a Shea Given, and he's kind of the whole package. All right, sounds good.
Quality gives Big G a run for his money. Put it that way, easy.
You know,
we were talking about this earlier because there's not. So me and Duka, we were talking about like how many keepers could we compare Bilal against? Because I said it yesterday, just off the cuff in comms. I wasn't thinking, but I don't need to think because I believe it anyway. But if you could compare him against anyone, you had Big G, SC Dons, fantastic keeper. You've got obviously #Jacko, but he's not playing as much because he gets a lot of sustained injuries. I don't really know off my head any others where I can give a good comparison. But Bilal played combined counties. I was looking at higher up as well. But he's another player where like he just didn't enjoy it. He didn't enjoy that, for him, he was saying to me a story where, he kind of made the decision where it's like, right, I'm just going to play for Wharf now and that's it. And then we'll see what happens. Yeah, I think he was on a plane to Jersey or something like that. And he was getting up at 4 a.m. to go and lose 4-0. And then the plane nearly crashed on the way back because the pilot couldn't do landings. And he was just like, oh, fuck this. I'm just going to go play football and enjoy it. And, that's obviously if you're playing football and whatever you do, for me, I think it's most important that you do enjoy what you're doing. If you don't enjoy it, you need to find a way to get out if you can help it and move forward. And, Bilal's been massively influential in the whole process as well. Someone I do value his opinion. And on top of that as well, he's actually the club treasurer. So he keeps me in check when I go and spend stupid money on balls or something like that. And he, it's one of the very few people who, when I do something stupid, can turn around and go, Louis, you're being a dick. And I go, oh, fair enough. Okay. I'll actually listen to that.
And it actually sounds like my plane crash analogy that I made 10 seconds ago actually was pretty fitting in this case.
I was wondering where you feel going. I was like, plane crashing?
Mystic Mac, huh?
Yeah, I don't know where you guys are going with this, but anyway. Now, let's move on to Chelsea, because we know you as a Chelsea man. Bro, Irish guy, you've done some crazy sketches. One that sticks out is the Chelsea one as well. We won't get onto it just yet, but again, Louis, talk me through Chelsea. How's it going at the moment for you?
Talking of sketches, I do like the one where he tries to impersonate me putting a pillow up his fucking t-shirt.
We've got that.
I saw that. I was going,
yeah. Louis, when you said you were in a dark place a year ago, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh shit, my skit wasn't long after that video. That one wasn't. Yeah, that was in November.
I giggled because it was you. You roast me, but it's funny. There was one where I lost my rag, and you compared me. What was it? He said he'd be the kid that would throw a hamster down your toilet at your 9th birthday or something like that.
Yeah,
what is that?
That might have been. One of my favorite moments was I think it was after Man City where you got up at 6 a.m. in the morning, and you mentioned that like 4 times in the post-match interview.
I
got up at 6 a.m. this morning.
Listen, at that point, I was a student. 6 o'clock's normal now. At that point, I'm used to, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning and chilling.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's, that was not a good day. But yeah, Chelsea's all good. I'm happy at the minute. What can I say?
Yeah.
Frank learned from me, obviously. Marina did the business I asked her to do. Roman just, whenever he fancies it, say, right, I'm just, spend the money here. It's like, yeah, right, Louis. I'm like, cool. Keep the receipts.
Do you find out with this Chelsea team that this is almost like, well, I suppose it is a new era, but like a more exciting one? Because I think for a few years there, it was kind of going a bit stale. Roman wasn't really involved. You were kind of petering along under Sarri, 6-0 defeats, Europa League football. But now under Frank,
World Cup of 6 o'clock.
Yeah, of course. But now under Frank, there's I suppose more of a vision, more of a plan. It's exciting, right?
100%. I think obviously Twitter's a great place if you want to say something bad about Sarri. So it's a good job you said it here, because if you say it anywhere else, they will kill you. It's just something which is going to happen. I think sorry that you kind of saw that there was the beginning of a vision, but it was just the wrong man to implement it, because it just wasn't the right fit. I'd say Mauricio Sarri is very much a manager who would fit a club which isn't of the elite level. You've seen that at Juventus, you've seen that at Chelsea. He's someone who will nurture talent, happily work with a limited budget, sort of bringing the players he knows and keep it very simple. He's a stubborn old man. Lampard sort of took what Sarri did, because he did lay the foundations, to be credit to him. The football was starting to come. You see that in the Europa League final against Arsenal. And he kind of strips it back, makes it a bit more simplified. Sarri chose to leave, goes to Juventus, didn't want to use youth players. Lampard then goes, right, we're going to do the same thing, but use the kids and we'll develop them. And whoever's good enough is good enough. Whoever's not, thank you very much. You've been a great servant for Chelsea, but you move on. And we've seen that, Tomori, I know, I always struggle with the fact he's not in the team. It does me quite upset, but, he's kind of still in and around that. We've seen Mason Mount become one of the most important players in Lampard's system. And he's very much a player who does the stuff you don't see, that's what I enjoy about him. Him and Giroud are kind of seeing a similar light, even though they're different positions, do different things. Giroud often criticised because of the World Cup where he doesn't score a goal. France don't win the World Cup if it wasn't for Olivier Giroud and what he did for Mbappe and what he did for Griezmann. And Mason Mount, again, does very important things. But then at the same time, where we've now got that blend of youth coming in with some world-class talent. And I think that's what you need to create a good team. You need to have that combination of a team which understands the culture of the club and understands what it means to play for it, on top of the quality which can come into raise those people's levels, but at the same time complement them with pure skill and pure brilliance from a playing perspective. And that's what's amazing about watching Chelsea at the minute as well, and the fact that, as you've already said, there's a clear vision, there's a clear project, and it's something which I'm really enjoying as a Chelsea fan at the minute.
And here's the thing: doesn't also inspire you with confidence, where I suppose Lampard, it's a young managerial career, but it's stellar. I mean, he took Derby from 6th to 6th, and he took Chelsea from 3rd to 4th, and he got your first trophy this season in years. It was brilliant, right?
It was. How are Derby doing since Lampard's left?
Yeah, not too well, actually. No.
Yeah. No, I always knew, to be honest, when Lampard first came in that season, because of the transfer ban as well, I wasn't expecting us to finish anywhere near we did. I think that because we finished where we did, it was a massive step up, and I don't think, and because no one expected it, that's why everyone's been so well. As Chelsea fans, were waxing lyrical about it last year. But I think that Derby team, between Chelsea, as we said, it's a clear project. I mean, it's not just what he's doing on the pitch. Last year, again, prime example. There was results missing here and there. There were games which we wouldn't have won. I mean, I look at that Sheffield United game last week. Yes, they've not been so good this year, but I think, for example, they were unlucky against Manchester City because they're a good side. They'll stay up. But where we would struggle to break down a strong system side, we went and played Sheffield United off the park. And you'll see we're slowly seeing a gel forming of the players that have been brought in and the players that were pre-existing. And with that project slowly developing and pushing forward, I can't moan. I'm a happy chappy at the minute. It's something where I'm watching it, and just Chelsea at the minute is just it's fun. And to see the project develop, which it will over the next 2 or 3 years, it'll be great to see. Rome wasn't built in a day. Look at City. As soon as they brought in their first manager, when they took the Saudis, were the Saudis or the Qataris, whichever one it is, I always forget which
One of those ones.
When those guys came into Man City and pumped in the revenue, you already knew the first guy who came in the door. They was like, "Oh, just waiting for Pep. Doesn't really matter." It's like they was building the project for Pep, and then Klopp comes in at Liverpool, and there's a clear and definitive vision of the project, which wasn't done in a day, but you saw consistent progress. Now it's important for Chelsea, where last year that was just a free shot. We can see what we did, just as long as there's an improvement. If we go from 4th to 3rd, fantastic. If we go from 4th to 2nd, which I think is plausible given how Liverpool and City are playing, they're not consistent as they weren't as consistent as they were, but we're starting to show those signs of consistency. It's going to be good to see what happens with it and how we do basically. But yeah, with City sort of did so well for them.
Well, how is your relationship with Chelsea then right now? Because you said it was almost a case of, we won't get into it, but essentially burnout with 100% Chelsea, and I suppose working yourself into the ground like that with Chelsea obviously being the focus of the reason for that maybe. And now you have Wharf, and you're so connected to that, and it feels so personal to you. So when you're investing so much emotional energy every weekend into that team, are you finding now that you're kind of becoming less invested with Chelsea?
I wouldn't say I'm less invested.
Because this isn't even specifically for you. I've spoken to quite a few fans this year, really, who kind of feel like they're falling out of love with elite football, because you see Arsenal furloughing all the staff and the dinosaur, and they keep Mesut Ozil on, paying him £300,000 a week to do nothing. You see Newcastle now, the fans are being dragged through the dirt for the last 13 years. Fans are chucking in their season tickets. And we're seeing a lot more people kind of gravitate towards grassroots football now, especially because they can't get into stadiums. So do you find then that you're kind of in the same boat, and you're kind of, obviously you're still passionate about them and you can talk in depth about Chelsea for hours, but is there a part of you which kind of feels like you're gravitating more towards putting your energy into something else, like Wharf?
Yeah, there has been. There's been times where there's one game where Chelsea were actually playing when I couldn't move the fixture, and we had to play at the same time. And I didn't actually care what the Chelsea score was at all during the game. On the sideline, everyone was kind of checking the score, seeing what was going on. I was just so engrossed in what was going on with my team, just to make sure that we got a result, that I didn't really check until afterwards. And even when I didn't check till afterwards, I'm talking game finished, I packed up, we went for drinks, I sat down, we talked, and I didn't check. And we got in the car, went home, unpacked, had a shower, got into bed. Oh shit, I haven't seen what the Chelsea score was. It hit that point where I was just so in the zone that there was one game where I did miss. But I try, considering my content's based around Chelsea as well. I can't really afford to fall out of love with it. I think I've openly challenged it. I've openly challenged what clubs are doing and how fans aren't fans anymore. They're customers. I kind of, when I was at university, that's what I studied. I studied football business. That was my thing, my jam. And it was just, the more and more I sat there and heard it, fans are consumers, fans are customers, fans are this, fans are that. I'm sat there listening to it going, right, I'm running a fan channel. And mentally I was there going, right, I don't agree with that. Because whenever I looked at fans, the reason I took over 100% Chelsea when it was kind of petering out and wasn't going anywhere sort of 2016-ish, I looked at it going, right, I want people to be able to voice their opinions. I want people to be able to care, for the club to listen to people that, travel there every week. I'm not saying Chelsea don't care. Chelsea have proven throughout the lockdown and throughout other stuff where they do care about their fans. But you look at the Premier League and you look at pay-per-view and you look at and you look at Newcastle, when the Premier League, we didn't know anything about that. We didn't know anything about Newcastle being taken over. And there are fans sitting there wanting to know what's going on with their club. Newcastle trying to push something through. the pay-per-view package comes in, because they've literally gone in the first lockdown. Here you go, guys. Here's all of the football. You know, we know we're going through a tough time. We're going to help you out. We'll take a hit, and you know, we'll develop it from there. And people go, fucking brilliant, love that. Let's watch the football. Second lockdown hits when people are still being furloughed, when people are being let go of their jobs, when people are struggling to put food on the table, and they go, right, you want to watch your team? 15 quid. And because some people are just, they won't go to an illegal stream because they're worried, you know, they're going to get a virus on it, or there's going to be a pop-up, or they know that it'll buffer and it won't be as good quality. They can't afford to pay that £15, but they still will, because they care about their club. And football at the top level doesn't really care. When I started Wharf, my thing was, you know, I didn't want people to see us as their second team. But I'm not sitting there saying, you know, don't support us. I'm not saying don't watch what we're doing. But I wanted people to be able to come and watch the football and feel engaged again. Because for me, it was a case of, I look at the club as a blank canvas. Right now, we're a year old, just over, you know. And we come in, and I want people to realise that it's a blank canvas. They can leave their own imprint on it, and people, you can build a culture, you can build your own thing, you can have your own impact on it. And I feel that football started. I mean, the bloke with a burger van, he didn't just turn up because the club told him to. He turned up because thought there's a bit of money to be made. One, but also, you know, for example, I know at Chelsea there's a pie mash stall run by Chelsea fans who've been following the club for years. There's a guy who sells scarves who loves what he's doing. And you know, it's a case of, I want people to feel that they can re-engage with football, because the top level just simply doesn't care anymore. And if you, like I said, with the European Super League, it's not a case of if now, it's a case of when. You know, when Liverpool and Manchester United come in and go, right, we've had enough of this. This is pointless. We want to have more control. We want to know what's going on. And the Premier League just goes fat out no, despite that being exactly how they were founded. You know, it's just the richer are getting richer, the poorer are getting poorer. And, you know, it's not, and without sounding overly political, you know, I've never hidden from the fact I'm very much a socialist, you know, but I just want Wharf to kind of be able to sit in the middle, you know, as a club. Yeah, do you know what? I found the football club. I'd like it to make money. I'd like it to be my full-time job. You know, that's something I want to be able to do. But at the same time, I want everyone to be able to eat. I want everyone to be able to come and enjoy the football for what it is, and realise that when they walk to watch that, you know, if they bring a flag with Imperial Wharf on it, that means everything to me, because they've come and they've done their own bit to support the club and leave their own mark on it. Same for the players on a pitch. You can score a worldie and you will be remembered for what you did there. That's why I said in that first game, that first team talk, you know, it's 11 blokes that walked onto the pitch. Yeah, you know what? That might just be Saturday League. They might have had a heavy Friday night and they might have just turned up. But to me, I will remember every single person who was there that day. Down to the names, down to everything. You know, every single person that was there means so much to me, because they're invested in it, because they've fallen out of love with the top level, or because they want to work their way up there. But it's because they want to do it for the right reasons. And that's huge for me. And I know I've gone off on a massive tangent, and I'm very sorry about that.
No. That's a great answer, because I mean, I wasn't so much suspecting that you had none of that. It's just more, yeah, like.
Are you crying? On there.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I've got a cough, lads. All right, it's November.
This is what the effect that you're having on him, man.
Yeah, tears in my eyes. No, it's just I've spoken to so many fans this year who are so disillusioned, and yeah, it's. I think it's a great thing what you're doing. Then you're kind of giving back to a footballing population who've been shat on by the bigwigs. £15 per pay-per-view. So you provide something that's not elitist, and that's great.
I wouldn't exist without those people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I would. I just wouldn't be the person I am now. You know, I'd probably be sat behind a desk hate of my life. But because of all these people that watched 100% Chelsea and watch me and watch Imperial Wharf, it means that I can do that. And it's without them, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in, and I'm always going to be grateful for that.
Brilliant.
I suppose, to round it up, I was like, where do you see Imperial Wharf going? I know you obviously want to be engaged with, the local community, your fans, but where do you see you taking this? Like, do you want to be the next hashtag United, for example? Would you want to be challenging Chelsea one time? Like, where do you see you taking this, bro?
I want to be Champions League, mate. I want to be in the final. I want to beat Real Madrid with a shithouse 1-0 header from the 2 yards out. That's what I want to do.
He wants to join the elite and be in the European Super League. That's what he wants.
No. I wouldn't be that. I'd very much be. That's for me, like long term. That's obviously I do want Imperial Wharf to go up the tables, whether I'm still there or not. I mean, financially, as I've discovered over the past couple of years, it's a massive, massive burden. But I want to take this as far as I can take it. And
Louis wants the European Super League. That's your headline for it, all right? It's like slagging off the cool kids in school one day. The next day, oh, please let me join your gang.
No, I was never like that. If I saw someone they're a dickhead, they're a dickhead. So it's you can change your tune however you want. But, look, for me, I'd want to be that person, right, who turns up. This is very much what it was like for me at school, right? So I was, for my sins, privately educated. And I don't really sound like that, I don't think. So I very much was there going, oh, yes, my father drives a Maserati. What does your daddy drive? And I go, my dad drives a Ford S-Max because he has 3 kids and he wants to be economical and he wants to get that sorted. Oh, such a nice car. Have you not got the latest iPhone? No, I haven't. I want to be that person. I want to be sat there when you've got Jose Mourinho drinking some expensive red wine. I'll have nipped to Lidl and I've got Glen's vodka, right? That'll be me in the corner. That's what we'll be doing.
When you become Premier League manager, you'll be offering out cans of Carpacchi and Carlsberg in the back room.
At that point, I won't be managing. I don't think somehow. Can you imagine being in the Premier League? Oh, fucking hell!
I could imagine like playing with Louis on Football Manager or FIFA, just seeing him there.
Pep when he does that thing when he goes twice and points to the sky. I'd be worse. I'd be like a combination of Pep, Mourinho, Conte, Chris Wilder, and probably Sam Allardyce. We've got to throw that one in there for obvious reasons.
That's quite a fugue of personalities. I want to see that. We'll go down to the Wharf and have a look.
Afternoon, mate, and you'll see it. Don't you worry about it.
Conte, Guardiola, Pulis hybrid. Love to see that.
Very much story.
I really enjoyed this. It's been great, guys. Sorry, people in the comment section that I haven't read out in your comments. Most of them have been about the scarf. Look, he's got the scarf around his neck, so you don't really need to see him. I'm not even going to read out some of the latest ones. You can see them in the watch back. But exactly. But I've enjoyed the conversation between these two guys. I've just been sitting there or standing here as a bystander just listening, so it's been great. But what's that say?
Your show as well, and he's not shut up.
I know.
Exactly, man.
You invite me as a guest. I'm interested, man. I'm interested. All right. What can I say?
I can see. I was like, should I just leave and whatever? But
I'm a swamp dwelling internet YouTuber who lives in his basement. I mean, if I get the opportunity for human contact or a conversation, I'm gonna fucking take it.
Yeah, he licked my face when I saw him at Newcastle. It was a bit weird.
That's just how I know. All right? It's how I was brought up. Actually, on the subject, I thought you were going to fucking deck me in Newcastle.
No. I look back at that now, and I was so out of order. I'm so sorry. It's the way I said it. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, no. I'm sure you didn't mean it to come across aggressive, but I was like, fuck it. So after that, because I remember you said you should have put 100% Chelsea. I should have given credit to YouTube. After that, I've given credit to every single video, so I don't have to.
You live and you learn. You live and you learn. Don't mess with Louis, otherwise, he might deck you.
Yeah.
But you know what, Ramsey, we might have to get him in the next sketch. Like if we do Chelsea again for some reason, whatever reason.
And I'll actually if he puts a pillow up his t-shirt, I'll do that.
Well, I don't have to. If you can be in the sketch, I don't need to play you. You can play yourself. All right.
Oh, fuck it. I'll get an Oscar for that. I'm actually 18 years of musical theatre that I did. That'd be interesting.
Listen, Louis, next time I'm down in London in 40, we're gonna hit up you, all right?
Yeah, go for it, man. Always. I'm always about.
Good stuff.
Maybe Imperial Wharf will be that big that we'll be doing a sketch on Imperial Wharf. Imagine that. Imagine that.
I'll have made it then.
Scenes.
There you go. Absolute scenes. What are you gonna say?
Hang on, are we saying someone has made it when the Irish guy is making a video about them? I think the pinnacle might be a few steps higher than that, 40.
I get sent videos. So the way I see the videos of you talking about me, I actually get sent them by my mates. So yeah. So the pillow one was like, they were like, Louis, you might want to see this, and I was thinking it might have been someone else. I was going, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah.
I saw that, and I was like, I want to get angry, but I can't because it's actually quite funny.
Here's the thing. Part of that was just frustration because I watched 100% Chelsea and I was never given an explanation why it went away. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. All right. I'm just going to throw a bomb in here and something's going to happen.
You'll get it. You'll get it soon. You'll get it. I'm ready to talk about it.
Soon there'll be a parody on you. You know that, right? There'll be a parody on you. Yeah, on you, yeah.
There already is.
I'd like to see him try for it, trust me.
On my favorite one, every single video. Hello, welcome to HITC Sports. Straight away, it's like you're doing your sync clap at the same time.
Hello, welcome to HITC. Yeah, I got it. That's it.
What's that all about?
I'm not sure exactly. Maybe I'm having a stroke every time I do it because, hey, YouTube, I'm in my mid-20s, all right? I'm probably due one. But anyway, the bake-off's on, boys, so I'm going to skedaddle. But listen, yes, great to talk to you both.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up anyway. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Make sure you follow and subscribe these two as well. Imperial Wharf, Louis Beneventi, Irish Guy, HITC Sport, and of course, Roots TV. Take care and peace.